Stand up, stand out, stand strong. A 30-day guide to navigate life when the shift hits the fan. Chapter 29, Day 29. Life by default, life by design, or life by divine. About 80 to 90% of the population are asleep at the wheel of life and living life by default. The other 10 to 20% are living by design or by divine. Everyone needs to be moving with the intention to live life by divine if we are to contribute to the course correction that will uplift all of humanity. There are 3 ways to live life: by default, by design, or by divine. If people live by default, they are asleep at the wheel, living unconsciously, thinking they are in control, and blaming the world for all their problems. They are living in a state of mind that life is happening to them, as I explained on day 20 in A Living, Breathing Classroom Designed Just for You. People who are living by default are on autopilot, reacting to life and fighting for a sense of control. They lack trust in life and live with a strong defense, always on guard and/or feeling like a victim of circumstances. Most people who live by default are driven by fear and tend to resist life, thereby creating more suffering and pain. When someone lives by design, they are living with more awareness, and they are conscious of how their responses to life influences their experience of life. They recognize they are capable of designing a life that they love. They are using their mind in a more positive way and often co-creating with their heart, but they are still leading with their head. Their mind still believes it is in the driver's seat. It could also be that the heart and mind are taking turns driving. These people tend to respond to life versus reacting to it. They use life's challenges to heal their limited mind. They're in the unwinding phase of awakening, and at the same time feeling a sense of control as they realize their internal world directly influences their external world. Their trust is building through each experience of manifestation and co-creation, and they are building faith in love and reacting less and less with fear. When someone is living life by divine, they are living with full awareness and have surrendered to allow their heart to take the lead in every moment. Waking up to this level is often a process that occurs over time and requires deep trust and blind faith. For most people, it will take time to build their confidence. They respond to life knowing there is always a bigger picture playing out, a perspective that only their heart has access to. They have surrendered their personal will for their higher will. They are deepening their connection between their heart, their soul, and the divine, also referred to as the higher self, the universe, God, Spirit, and Source. They feel a sense of purpose and they trust their life is unfolding as it is meant to. They let their heart lead and are consciously making a choice to use their life as a classroom to heal and remove all blocks to love as they align with their heart's calling. Some people will shift back and forth between each phase, whereas others will stand solid in one before moving to another. Creating awareness about what phase you are living will empower you to make a conscious choice to shift to the one that you believe will be the best for you at this time in your life. Ultimately, we are each being called to live life by divine, but it will take some people more time to process their fears, reprogram their mind and limiting beliefs, heal their past hurts, build their trust, and let their heart take the lead. It is important to practice patience with each other, be compassionate, and at the same time, encourage others no matter what phase they're living in. You may have a role to play in awakening others, or you may not. Only your heart can lead you, and unless you receive clear directions to take inspired action, you will need to mind your own business. In my mind, I think I am fully capable, and I have the ability to support every single person in the world through this process. But in my heart, I know I am only to support those I am meant to support. My heart leads me to those I am meant to work with, directly or indirectly, and I can look upon everyone else with love. I can see them as capable. I can see them as worthy. I can see their heart calling to them. I can trust they will hear the call, or someone else will be guided to support them in divine right timing. The rest is none of my business. I can only do what I'm guided to do because I live life by divine, and I follow the directions of my heart in every moment. I know the guidance that comes through my heart is serving the highest good of all of humanity, so I play my part, and only my part, knowing everyone is taken care of in the way that they need it most. Growing up, I spent most of my life living by default. I was asleep at the wheel, doing my best to try and navigate this thing called life. It was painful, and I created way more suffering for myself because everything was automatically being filtered through my limited mind and its victim mentality programming. Looking back, I was really good at manifesting and making things happen, but I never thought I was things happen. When I set my mind to something combined with a lot of hard work, it would come together. I didn't give myself credit for anything I created because my underlying belief was nothing I did was ever good enough. Not being good enough was a force that was driving me to prove my worth, excel at everything I put my energy toward, and ultimately achieve all my goals. There was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, but in the end, nothing was ever good enough. It wasn't until I was in my early 20s that I woke up to realize that I was actually making things happen. I realized the power of my mind and my ability to influence how my life circumstances were unfolding. As I started to challenge my own limiting thoughts, I started to feel more and more empowered. I started living life by design. My eyes were opening, and I was waking up to a new way of living and responding to life. I could see the connection between my intention, my mindset, and the outcome. I also started to see a pattern between manifesting successfully and employing self-sabotaging patterns. I would self-sabotage when I set a goal that was not in alignment with what I believed I deserved or felt worthy of. This was particularly evident when it came to money. Unwinding from my money blocks has been some of the most challenging healing work. My mind was deeply programmed for lack and limitation with a boatload of unworthiness. It was a perfect recipe for living paycheck to paycheck. Living life by design was amazing and empowering, but still limited because everything was filtered through my mind. On the outside, I was a master manifester, but on the inside, I now know I was still playing small because my mind's filter was limited and holding me back, especially around money. In the last 10 years, I have learned how to bypass my limited mind and trust my heart to lead me. I started to allow my heart to make all my decisions. A huge shift happened when I surrendered my thoughts and ideas about my gift of manifesting and allowed my heart to take the lead fully and completely. While my mind was still trying to navigate, I would find myself on occasion going between life by divine and life by design, and back again to life by divine. But more often than not, I was in a place of deep surrender and trust. It was as though my soul was guiding me from a higher perspective. At some point, I felt a higher call to expand my heart-led living business and community. In the same moment that I felt a huge expansion, I felt a powerful resistance in my solar plexus. I was having some digestive issues at the time and had a partial blockage in my intestine. It was as though preventing it from passing through. It started to get worse, and for about 2 years, I was eating mostly liquids because if I ate too much solid food, it was extremely painful. My resistance was growing as I searched for answers to release this block in my intestines. I could palpate it as I pressed into my abdomen with my fingers, and I could follow the shape of it. I started to call it a snake because it was an S shape of density. Part of me just wanted the block to move and get the heck out of me, but I knew it was there to teach me something. I spent a lot of time nurturing, loving, cursing, hating, fighting, surrendering, questioning, searching, reflecting, struggling, and giving up only to surrender again over and over. It was an emotional roller coaster, but all the while I knew it had something to teach me. The strongest feeling I had was when I would tune into the vision I received from my heart about expanding my heart-led living community. Instantly, my solar plexus would contract more, and I would hear the words, "Don't make me do it." It was the last-ditch effort of my ego mind to keep me playing small. I knew in my heart my community was meant to grow to at least 100 members. That felt like a stretch for my mind, but at the same time, it felt true in my heart. The resistance was strong as it came through in thoughts of fear about my health, not being able to hold space for 1,000 members. Again, I would feel that gripping and hear the words, "Don't make me do it." I finally shed light on my biggest blind spot. It was a battle waged by my personal will, my ego's will. My ego was fighting my heart. It was resisting the call of my soul. I was fighting and resisting the path that I knew in my heart was calling me so strongly. The contraction of my gut was me holding on for dear life. My gut was me holding on for dear life to the energy of, "No, don't make me do it." I needed to say yes to the call of my heart, to expand my business. I've moved my awareness into my heart. Suddenly I received a vision of 10,000 heart-led living community members. I lost my breath for a moment. Slowly I invited my breath to soften and flow, and the vision continued to expand. I felt enormous abundance flowing in, as well as an outward flow to support our global humanitarian work that empowers women and girls to step into their full potential. I felt the rising of a powerful force for change, and I saw our hearts united in love. I softened my solar plexus and surrendered once more. The energy of yes filled every cell of my body. I felt alive with love, and my entire being expanded as I heard the words Heart Yes Movement. I had a glimpse of something so much bigger than myself, the gentle shepherd, to allow it to come to fruition. 10,000 voices of hope, inspiration, and love. I suddenly saw other light leaders gathering around me. I was not alone. My entire body softened, and I could feel my soul embodiment. I could feel my heart yes. I could feel a full surrender of my ego mind and the alignment of my heart and soul with my life's calling. I had come home, and I was now ready to fulfill my greatest calling and contribution to humanity. I have let go of the reins and shifted completely into living life by divine. Once I healed the root of my resistance to expanding my life and business, my physical resistance shifted and my intestinal snake passed and my digestion improved. Peace, love, and a sense of wholeness now surround me and fill my entire being. I feel at one with everyone, everything, at one with everyone, everything, everywhere, all at once. I'm committed to taking my life to the next level, knowing it will have a global impact that will uplift humanity and unite us in love for each other and our planet. I know many more people are also feeling this call to shift from living life by design to living life by divine. It connects us to a realm of unlimited potential and a field of enormous possibility because our decisions will come from a higher place and will not be filtered through our limited minds. As we allow the divine force to move through us, as us, this force will carry us, guide us, and direct us in every moment. This force is acting on behalf of everyone, everywhere, all at once, all as one. One by one, we will surrender to the grand plan that is serving the highest good of all of humanity as well as our planet. Are you ready to live life by divine? Are you willing to surrender your personal will in exchange for your higher will, your soul's will? Will you say yes to the calling in your heart? Are you willing to play your part? Will you unite your heart with ours and say yes, yes, yes? We are all in this together. We need you. Our planet needs you. Just say yes, then follow your heart and watch the miracles unfold as your divine life comes into fruition. It is so worth it.